Hi everyone, this is Snit, and in this video I'd like to share with you a process I've walked with my toes. And the process I walked with my toes allowed me to understand more about the crystallization of memories and emotional energy within the physical body. And it's interesting for me. And I mean, this is something that you will also get to know in your process of becoming aware of your own mind-body universe. I mean, for me, my fingers and toes are exceptionally sensitive to crystallization that happens. And here, what I mean with crystallization is, remember, I briefly mentioned in previous videos that whenever you've got memories within yourself which you haven't dealt with effectively and there's still an emotional charge to it. An example for me is I experienced during my primary school years and high school years bullying, all right? And I mean, I only started walking my process of becoming aware of my mind-body universe in my early mid-20s. And so in that process, starting to become aware of how my body is communicating with me, I went through so many layers of crystallization of memories and emotions within me that went back into my primary school years and high school years. And this had to do with the bullying and the extent to which, it did not only shape my self-judgment and my view of myself, but it also shaped my physical experience in my toes and my fingers. What do I mean by shape my physical experience? Here, I mean, if you have a look at going through bullying, it's on a mental or just emotional level. Okay, you're going to go through, let's say, self-judgment. You're going to go through criticizing yourself. You're going to go through just generally feeling inferior and not good enough. So essentially you can even have a look at doing this for yourself. Creating little bubbles of all the mental and emotional experiences that you may have personally gone through with being bullied. And how that started shaping. Let's say this thing forms a shape in itself, and that shape defines your personality, how you shape yourself, how you, from that shaping of all those bubbles of mental and emotional consequence of bullying, shape your personality, and then how you will communicate or interact or behave into your mannerisms. And it's interesting how that played out in my life, was becoming exceptionally introverted, shy, and that's the shaping of myself in my physical and in my reality. I was exceptionally anxious. I never would initiate me into, when, let's say, an opportunity arises for me to take in a certain position, I would never see myself being capable of it, because I viewed and shaped myself as being completely less than that and not worthy of or not capable of. So I really disregarded many opportunities in my life because of this. And so for many years, I worked with the mental and emotional process of the inner shaping consequence of bullying. But what also manifested was a physical shaping. And this is where I'm going to the fingers and the toes. And this specifically manifested in my thumbs, my big toes, and also my pinky fingers in my fingers and my toes, which is to do with myself and my perception. So these two. Because I started massaging my feet and my toes in my personal process of studying self-care. Well, not really studying, but, well, it is, I suppose, in a way, studying who I was in that process of caring for myself. it was interesting when I started massaging my hands and my toes and my feet for myself at night. Initially there was resistance involved, like didn't feel like doing it. Sometimes I'd give excuses or reasons, justifications for why I didn't have time for it. But eventually breaking through that resistance and just caring for myself in a way of tending to my body, this opened up a whole new dimension of the crystallization of memories and emotions and feelings. What do I mean by that? So when I started massaging my toes, I could feel there was quite a bit of pain on my pinky toes, my pinky fingers, and my thumbs and my big toes as well. Like the pain there was quite intense. And it was in this time that I was also working with this particular inner reality, the mental and emotional side of the consequence of being bullied. And I felt in my toes, it was exceptionally sore. And I mean, it's not that I massaged hard. I mean, obviously here, yes, you do have the natural physical consequences of the way you walk, the shoes you wear, the exercising that you do, the varying impacts of physical reality on your body. But at the same time, there's also layers of your internal reality manifested within it. That's why I always, with my body, work with both realms. Find out, okay, what's the physical causes, but also unconditionally see within myself, what can I learn from what my body is going through or showing me. So here, just as these little bubbles, okay, form and shape ourselves, our personalities, the way we behave, these types of bubbles of memories also manifest within our bodies and layer. These are the things that kind of, it's quite interesting what the body does with memories and emotions that we haven't dealt with. It's almost like the body absorbs those memories and emotions like a sponge if we suppress it inside of ourselves. I mean, if you even slow down a moment where you suppress something or deliberately don't want to look at something, you kind of sweep it aside, you'll see it's like you're pushing it down. And it's literally in that moment where you sweep something aside, where you suppress it, you don't want to look at it, that your body then goes, okay, you're giving it to me, I'll hold on to it for you until you deal with it. But see, we have never understood our body's relationship with taking on our memories because we've decided to not take it on. We think or believe just because we don't see it that it's not affecting us. But now it's quite interesting what I've learned throughout these years of my mind innerverse and my mind-body innerverse is that taking all these bullying memories I hadn't dealt with at all, okay? I suppressed it into my body, and where crystallizations of memories and emotions happen first and foremost in the body is very close to the bone, and that's why your fingers are actually quite sensitive. I mean, I also, even now, with touching some of my knuckles here, I can already feel, okay, when there's no pain and, when there is a little pain and when there's quite a bit of excruciating pain. So you've also got to get to know your levels of pain in your fingers and toes. In whichever toes or fingers there's the most pain closest to the bone, okay, I'm working with this particular finger, that particular toe. What is it saying about my internal reality? All right. But now, what I've done is throughout all these years, since primary school and high school, now I'm in my mid-20s, starting to get to know my mind-body innerverse. So this is almost talking 10 years of all these memories suppressed and repressed in my body. And as those memories get absorbed by the body, it also then, let's call it, transmutes and transforms. And that's where they almost come out like a personality, which is the consequence of what formed in me because of this. All the self-judgment, the criticism, the inferiority, the not being good enough, caused me to essentially become shy, introverted, anxious all the time, would give up so many opportunities to get somewhere in a particular career path because I just did not see myself as worthy or valuable at all. And all of that manifested into the personality. So what we don't realize either is all these consequential, compromising personalities that we live are actually originating from memories. Imagine these little balls here, or bubbles, are memories, okay? Manifested, repressed, and stored in the body, kind of waiting for our attention. But at the same time, it starts evolving and spreading and just accumulating more consequence. It's the principle of any problem. The longer you leave it, the more problematic it actually becomes. And so it's like this issue and this problem then festers in our body, in our minds, in ourselves for years. And that's where the issue comes, where we actually start creating ourselves in our lives in the starting point of this. So we'll continue with that in the next video of how our memories, our repressed and suppressed memories and the emotions attached to them, it's manifested in our bodies, are actually shaping ourselves and so our world. All right, thank you very much.